What is up, guys? Welcome to the Edge DFS. My name is Tyson Smith, joined by Ellie Hernandez. Ellie, we've got another crazy, wild spread here. Chiefs minus 12.5 for Sunday Night Football. Titans traveling in to Kansas City. Look, man, we know Andy Reid's track record coming off of buys. 20-3, I believe. And at home, he's 12-1. You know, we could come on here and say, hey, man, this is going to be a blowout. But we've seen recently, it's not as easy as that, man, in the NFL, especially on these island games. You just don't know. So, Ellie, what's going on with you, man? How are you? How are your lineups doing today so far on Sunday?
They're doing okay. I have a pretty healthy exposure to Joe Mixon, who probably should have 5 total touchdowns, but Joe Burrow took one from him.
Asshole.
But, you know, man, we're doing fine. Just getting ready for hopefully what should be a good game tonight. I think it depends on, one of these weird Adam Schefter tweets that you found somehow.
Yeah.
But look, I'm excited to watch some Pat Mahomes play.
Yeah, man. Hey, KC, that's always fun to do one of these showdown slates with them. You never know who's gonna score all the points. So Ellie, give your best sales pitch. Try to get the watchers here to like the video and subscribe. We're trying to get to that 1,000 mark, man. We need you guys' help. Ellie, talk to him.
Yeah, hey guys, go ahead and hit like and subscribe for us. Get us to that 1,000 mark. I don't have anything too exciting to say other than we're fucking hilarious. We obviously are lively and full of joy almost all the time. But we're really into gambling, guys, and fuck it, let's have fun. Join
the Discord as well. That's free. That's where you're going to find some more information about injuries tonight specifically. So let's look at these numbers here. So minus 12.5. I think we saw, what was it, Thursday night? We saw it was minus 14 or 14.5 even maybe at one point. And that game was relatively competitive, which was surprising. You know, the Eagles still won. Can this game be relatively competitive? You got Malik Willis potentially starting. That does not bode well for them. If Tannehill did play, which there's a chance he could play, man. I don't know. There's a chance. Does that help or hurt things? How do we react if that happens? And does the line move at all? Like, what do you think?
Look, man, I just don't think the Titans are all that good anymore. I do think that this is probably pretty close to a decently set spread, but it's still early in the season, right? Anything can happen at this point. But with Malik Willis back there at quarterback, I'm not feeling great about the Titans' chances here. Again, if for whatever reason Tannehill ends up starting, I think you might see a little bit more out of the passing offense, but it's different. They don't have Julio Jones and AJ Brown over there, wide receiver. They got Robert Woods and Bobby Trees. We haven't seen him play well in 2 years. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there. I think Kansas City probably should win. But with that being said, I do want to call back to the Thursday night game. Like, don't underestimate these teams, man. Like everybody on this Tennessee squad is playing for a roster spot. They're going to be watched by national television. Like, people play up to their competition. So there's a very good chance Tennessee can come out and they just establish the run. And if Derrick Henry goes off and you keep the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands, that's a very, very good way to stay in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our podcast listeners, the total is 45.5. And ownership, I mean, I don't think I've seen ownership that skewed. I don't think ever on any of these shows we've done. You're talking about what 160 percentage points difference. That's huge. KC is minus 600 on the money line. Everybody's going to be pointing towards KC. The question is, how can we build lineups differently to try to not run across the finish line if we were to get first place with like 1,000 other people and make $10? That's not what we want to do. That's not why we're spending our time here. So let's look at the injuries here real quick.
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere.
So there's a lot of injuries on the Titans into things. Obviously, you got Bud Dupree's questionable. You've got Tannehill. Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw somewhere he was doubtful, but I've also seen that he's questionable. I think he's questionable. And we'll get to a tweet here in a second about him. You got Jeffrey Simmons, questionable. That's a big deal for the pass rush. This team, one of the things that this team is pretty good at on defense is rushing the passer. So if he's out, that could, I mean, if you could, we saw a couple years ago in the Super Bowl what the Bucs did to Patrick Mahomes, putting all that pressure on him. If the Titans can do that a little bit, maybe they'll have a chance in this game. So who else am I missing here? I don't really think there's anybody else to talk about here besides Tannehill. You do have Fortson out on the other side, which is pretty much it.
Yeah, just one thing to not forget. Remember, Traylon Burks is on IR. When those guys have been out for a while, it's easy to forget that they were on the squad, especially a rookie.
Yeah.
So that does open up a little bit opportunity in the wide receiver room, right? They're down their number 1/number 2 guy. But again, we already knew that pricing's adjusted for that, but just don't forget.
So here's this tweet here from Schefter. This is 5 hours ago. The Titans have closely guarded their quarterback plans for Sunday night and are hoping to not reveal them until pregame warmups. Ryan Tannehill is listed questionable due to high ankle injury and was spotted in a walking boot over a week ago with possible high ankle sprain. So I don't know if they're trying to just play games with the opposing team so they have to keep a bigger playbook defensively and a different game plan. I don't know what it is that's going on here, but we gotta be aware of this, because if Tannehill plays, how much does that help the pass game here? Are you going to be a little bit more interested in Bobby Trees and some of these tight ends?
I think the correct way to answer that is saying I am more interested in it than I am with Malik Willis at quarterback.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm like excited to play any of those guys, but I will have a little bit more exposure to the quarterback because Tannehill's better than Malik Willis. But like the way that Schefter worded this is funny. Like, closely guarded their quarterback plans. Like, bro, it doesn't matter. Somebody called in on one radio show, I think it was for the Jets, but they said that all the other games happening in the AFC and the teams, they exist as NPCs to allow the simulation to run for final scores so that we can get the AFC Championship Bills Chiefs.
That's funny.
Right? So, like, you're guarding these plans for no reason. It doesn't matter. This is the better team. They're probably going to whoop your ass regardless of who's at quarterback.
I agree with you, man. All right, well, let's just get into this breakdown here. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right, so Patrick Mahomes is $12K. He's going to be expensive. He's freaking Patrick Mahomes. Malik Willis is $9K. So look, Malik Willis, if he starts, he's $9,000. He's a quarterback. You got to talk about playing him. I don't care how bad he sucks if he's $9,000, and maybe he's primed for a breakout game. We just don't know what we're going to see from this guy, and he can run the ball. You get 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns from a quarterback, man. He's going to be in the optimal at $9K, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I don't mind Malik Willis. I think that if this game is somewhat competitive, it's obviously because of Derrick Henry and some combination of Malik Willis. And just given his price at the 9K, if he does have a decent game, doesn't turn the ball over, he does have that rushing upside, bro. This could easily be like one of those weird ass games where the quarterback is, what did Mac Jones do? Yeah, like 2 for 3 for 16 yards, but like 2 rushing times. I don't know. I might be exaggerating that, but that's the kind of thing that they're going to need to do to stay involved here. Right? Don't turn the ball over and maybe sneak one in on the end zone, read option type thing. So I like him. I'll probably be with the field. I don't expect him to be that high owned, so you're not getting crazy just playing a few lineups with him. Right?
Yeah, Mahomes
played Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, played Patrick Mahomes. I don't see a path where this team like blows out Tennessee without him being involved. There's always that chance that they get out to an early lead. Maybe he throws a touchdown pass or 2, maybe, and then he kind of just fizzles out after that because they're just in a commanding lead. But this team doesn't really utilize their running backs that much. They don't run the ball that much. Even if this team's up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, they're probably going to come out passing the ball. They're not just going to wait around for Tennessee to go to sleep. I think Mahomes is, for me, I usually would be like, nah, I don't want to play him at captain. I'll be different. There's some good value on the slate, man. There's a couple guys we're about to talk about that I think you could put Patrick Mahomes at the captain spot and still be different quite a bit. So let's move over to running back here. Let's start with Tennessee.
And one last thing while you're pulling that up on the quarterbacks, just join the Discord, guys. We're not going to spend too much time on the debate about who's playing. Obviously, Tannehill is a boost if he's in, but we'll share inactives right before the game starts, about an hour before, so you know.
Yeah, the Discord link is in the description in the bio. Click it and join. Derrick Henry 10.8. Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not speaking English very good. I just sat in freaking 5.5 hours of traffic and literally sat down and did the show. So don't make fun of me too much in the chat if I'm literally speaking Chinese here. Derrick Henry 10.8K, Dontrell Hilliard 4,200, Hassan Haskins 1,400. So Derrick Henry 10.8K. He went off last week. We know what to expect here. This is the best player on the team. If this team has any shot, they're going to give him the ball probably 20 plus times, and he's going to get over 100 yards with at least a touchdown. They're not going up against the greatest rush defense in the history of the world. I think even though Derrick Henry has been, getting a ton of carries here, I mean, look at this. 32, 30, 28, 22, 20, 13, 21. I mean, he's going to get the rock, man. He had 219 yards last week. He's had 4 straight games where he's had over 100 yards. He's had, how many touchdowns does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does he have a receiving touchdown? No, he has 6 rushing touchdowns. Anyways, I don't think you need us to tell you to play Derrick Henry. If I'm doing any 5-1s or putting any Titans at captain, it's probably going to be Derrick Henry on the other side of it, right?
Yeah, man. And just keep in mind, we're getting to that point of the season. You played enough games where, everyone's a little hurt. Derrick Henry is just a bitch to tackle at this point in the season, and it only gets worse the rest of the year. So I play Derrick Henry. I guess he's awesome.
I don't think there's any need for Dontrell Hilliard at 4,200, especially Hassan Haskins at 1,400. There's just really no need. I mean, obviously Derrick Henry's getting a bulk of every touch, and he's on the field, I think, 80% of the time? Is that the splits there? Let me see here. Where is he at? On the season, 67%. Last week, 75%. Or was it last week? Yeah, last week, 75%. So look, I don't think you need to touch Hilliard or Haskins. There's other value, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm not looking at Hilliard or Haskins today. They're too expensive.
KC. So Isaiah Pacheco is 2,400. He's supposedly the starter now. Last week, he only got 30% of the snaps. CEH, 7K. He was the starter. He had a touchdown last week. He got slightly more snaps. And then Jerick McKinnon's 3K. I think these guys all have an equal chance of doing something, of scoring touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be super popular because he's 2,400 and he's supposedly the starting running back on a team favored by 12.5 at home. But I don't think it's that easy. I don't think you could just say, yeah, Pacheco, he's 2,400, plug him in. He's projecting pretty well. I think he's in the 8 to 10 point range projected wise. But I think you got to give all these guys a chance. My least favorite is Clyde Edwards-Helaire here at 7K. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we have a segment dedicated to him at this point.
Yeah, and you could probably guess where that segment's at here.
Yeah, but no, I'm right with you on Isaiah Pacheco. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I think he's priced fine for tonight's slate. It's just, again, there's just some other value that I'm a little bit more comfortable playing. That you got guys at $200 that if they go out and get you 1.2 points, you're not entirely screwed. But if Pacheco just happens to fall out of the shuffle and the touchdowns go to Jerick McKinnon, then you're done, right? Pacheco 2,400, it's not going to work. Yeah. But I think you got to kind of figure out which guy you think is going to get that touchdown, because I guarantee you one of the backs will get one tonight. I think it's going to be McKinnon, so I'd rather play him. But if you have $2,800 left and you need to decide between a couple of guys, throw Pacheco. I don't hate him.
This would be a typical.
But what is that?
Go ahead.
Pull back McKinnon's number, say?
Yeah.
I mean, 6, 6, 9, 1, 2. Like, for the most part, you're getting what you need to at his price. So at 3K, like you're kind of a consistent floor. That's 6 points, and I think you can find the salary to go from 2,400 to 3K Jerick McKinnon.
And McKinnon's. I don't think a lot of people are going to play McKinnon, especially with Pacheco at 2,400. Nobody's going to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You could put him at captain in a few lineups to hedge any fade you might be doing in the flex. And if he gets that random 2-touchdown game, that could be enough to help you out. I just think that McKinnon might be my guy here because I don't think that Pacheco's ownership would pay off necessarily with the chances of him actually being the optimal guy here, an optimal captain. I don't see it happening compared to his ownership. All right, anything else to talk about, or you want to move on here?
No, let's move on.
All right, so Juju Smith-Schuster, 8,400. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 5,400. Mecole Hardman, 5,600. Newly brought in Kadarius Toney at 6,800. And you got Sky Moore at $400. bargain basement prices there for him. So Juju has gone off the last few weeks. He's starting to come into his own. He's got, the past 2 weeks straight here, over 100 yards and a touchdown each week, getting targeted. And then you have MVS, who is that deep threat kind of guy. And then, of course, you got Mecole Hardman, who can randomly score like 17 rushing touchdowns in a game. Bro, I don't know what to do with these guys. You got to just sprinkle them all in, especially if you got Mahomes at captain. Get 2 of these guys, potentially, unless you want to throw in Kelsey, right? So what do we do here, man? Juju is clearly the safe bet, but any one of these guys can go off. And are you interested in Tony here? Do you think he's going to play at all?
Look, I think you're right on with Juju. I think he's finally found kind of his consistency in the offense. And it's really just running some of these screenplays that they used to draw for Tyreek Hill, but instead of having a guy who's 5'7" trying to run away from you, Juju's a pretty physical receiver. So he's able to pick up some of those extra yards after catch just by being physical. And I think he's kind of developing into a little bit of a possession guy out of the screenplays, if that makes any sense at all. So look, I love Juju, and I'll have a heavy exposure to him. I will have Kelsey and Juju and Pat like as my core. And I don't care. It's not like Hill and Kelsey can't play at the same time, or Godwin and Evans,
Yeah.
The way that he's priced at 8,400 and the value that we have, play it.
Yeah.
But to your point, like if you're not playing Kelsey, then I'm taking a minimum of 2 of these guys. Juju MBS, Juju Mecole. I think Mecole Hardman started to get in a pretty good rhythm with Pat 2 weeks ago.
I mean, he had
last week.
He had a great game.
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks ago.
28 fantasy points, a receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns on 2 attempts. So, that's also my point, to just go back to the running back situation. Juju is, these screen passes, that's a run play. You got a big wide receiver, on these random screen passes or any of these slants, that's high percentage. That's basically a run play for them. And same with a guy like Mecole Hardman getting 2 carries for 2 touchdowns. I don't know who's going to score the rushing touchdowns in this game. And they spread it out so much offensively, even in the pass game. There's a chance that every one of these guys sees like 5 targets. So you just got to really spread yourself out. I'm not going to go too heavy on any of these guys individually, besides Juju probably, but I got to find at least 20-30% of these guys along with Juju. Kadarius Toney at 6,800, man, I'm not too interested. I don't think he's going to get much run.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. But I think he fills that same type of role that Juju, we were just talking about with Juju, pretty well. So they may try and get him in on kind of a goal to go situation. But at 6,800, he just needs he needs a certain amount of points. A guy I think that kind of will go overlooked here a little bit just because of Kadarius Toney is Sky Moore at $400. Again, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yeah,
I get it. It doesn't look well, but you don't have Justin Watson active most likely tonight. So that means what? It's down to Sky Moore. And if Kadarius Toney isn't playing, Sky Moore is going to be running those routes. So look, at $400 again, you can't ever go wrong just taking somebody who's getting the ball thrown to him by Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, and this, he's been teetering, all the way up to 4,800 at one point. He's been 3,800 last week, 1,600, now down to $400. He's going to get involved in special teams. He's going to be getting punt returns. All it takes is one little random end around by him, in a game and scoring a touchdown from a guy like this instead of Hardman. They could easily go to Sky Moore instead of Hardman. I mean, that's very possible. $400, he's going to make the optimal, and you really don't need a ton out of him to just, min cash if you're completely screwed at the end of the day. You maybe just need like 4 or 5 points out of him. All right, so let's go to the Tennessee side here. This is ugly. Bobby Trees, Robert Woods, 7,600. Hasn't done much this year. Nick Westbrook, 5,200. Cody Hollister, 200. That's pretty interesting right there. So any interest in Robert Woods here, and how much of a difference on your exposures if Tannehill starts?
I don't know, man. I think I'd probably just be with the field on all these guys. If Tannehill starts, if he doesn't, I'm just going to be under on most of them. I think the primary target, and this is probably breaking news to everybody, is going to be Derrick Henry from the Titans side of the ball for me. Maybe getting some value here. I don't mind Robert Woods, but again, it probably isn't the best matchup for him. The quarterback's not very good. I don't like it. Same with Nick Akina. They're just priced too much. Like, why not go down to the $200 guys? I mean, we have 3 of them. Who knows who will be active? Would probably be Cody Hollister and Chris Conley. Look, Cody Hollister, he's been getting a fair amount of the snaps. What was he at, like 54% last week?
Yeah, up there. Yeah, I'll look. You keep talking about him.
Yeah, no, you got Cody Hollister. He's
56.
getting work on the field. But again, like if he ends up with a 0, you're not completely screwed. You still probably were able to pay up to have Kelsey and Juju and Derrick Henry and Pat Mahomes all in the same lineup. So you need to make sure you're getting different and, maybe playing Chris Conley as the $200 one-off so that you free up that salary. But Cody Hollister, he's coming in under 3% projected ownership. Chris Conley is probably going to be X out of everybody's player pool.
Yeah,
yeah,
you're talking about.
I don't mind him, man.
Your 3rd or 4th wide receivers here for a team that's probably going to be losing. Now, you got Willis throwing you the ball, so that is a problem. But you don't need a whole lot from these $200 guys at all.
And here, just to make it interesting real quick, Chris Conley, this is a revenge game, right? I think he played for
he did
the Chiefs back in like 1998.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to tight end here, man. This is something I want to talk about. So I don't know how to say his name. Chigoziem Okonkwo. No clue. I've never heard another human say it out of their mouth because this is the first time I've really heard of this guy. But after doing some research, he might be like a future star on this team. He's fast. They like him. I think they're trying to get him involved a lot more. He's $200. Austin Hooper's been sucking ass. Jeff Swaim is Jeff Swaim. I think maybe he gets a couple. Maybe he starts the game here. And a $200 guy. Getting 50+% of the snaps, I'm going to be all over it, especially dudes who can pass the ball. Also, this dude apparently is a great run blocker, so you might see him in situations where a pass-catching tight end just might not be in the game. He might be in there too. So what are your thoughts here, man? I'm going to have a lot of – it's going to be really hard for me not to have like 60% of this guy.
Yeah, look, I think again, point one is just that he's $200 and he's going to see 50-60% of the snaps. He's going to be on the field, right? So it just gives him opportunity. Tight ends are a great outlet for young quarterbacks, and if Ryan Tannehill does play, then tight ends are good outlets for a good quarterback, or a moderately good quarterback. Look, I like him $200. I think if you play him and the wide receiver, Cody Hollister, whatever, you're freeing up so much salary to go play these guys where it's very likely the concentration of fantasy points will be right. Derrick Henry, Kelsey, Pat Mahomes. And so we need to find ways to get them in all the lineups. And I don't mind having guys that are potentially zeros at $200. But again, he falls into the end zone with one catch. Like that's it. He's in the optimal.
I think all these guys are.
I
think all these guys are in play, though. I mean, they're cheap enough that a Jeff Swaim touchdown, maybe a couple receptions out of him, might be enough because you might not need more than 2 guys from Tennessee side here, and you just got to pick the right one. And I think that all these tight ends are in play, but I love Okonkwo.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't think Pacheco has twice as many opportunities to score as Jeff Swaim does. So similar ownership between Swaim and Pacheco, right? Like there's no reason for Pacheco to be 3 times owned than Swaim or Hooper. They're just priced nicely.
Yeah.
And they're going to have similar opportunity.
Agreed. So let's go to KC side here. Travis Kelce, 10.4K, expensive as hell. But we're going to want a lot of him. 4 touchdown games here, 3 touchdown games here. Yeah, he has a couple of average games, sometimes just because there's other guys getting involved and they don't really necessarily need him. But when they do need him, he's the guy. Look at this. What is he got? A 10-point output as his lowest this season with a 33 earlier in week 5. I say you just plug him in, man. Me personally, get him at captain, him and Mahomes at captain, and maybe a little bit of Derrick Henry, and put Kelsey in the flex in almost every lineup. That's for me. And if Kelsey just has like an average game, whatever. But I think his ceiling is so high, you can't ever think of not playing him.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna have a shitload of him at captain. I'm gonna have him locked in the flex position. That's about all I got to say about Travis Kelce. I think some of these other guys are interesting. Noah Gray will probably get some snaps, and we see it. If there's no Jody Fortson tonight, somebody's got to catch that bullshit
Yeah.
touchdown from Pat.
Maybe it'll be
So
Dean.
it's probably
Maybe it'll be Dean Winchester here at $200. You never know.
yeah, that's their cousin James. I was actually, dude, I was
He
gonna
was
make
the
a
one.
fucking joke about that
I
shit
know.
too.
I had
Yeah,
to
to
steal it from you.
if anybody knows us, like we just Tyson just finished Supernatural. All right, guys, sorry, come join the Discord if you want us to know about us. Anyways, and then what? Jordan Franks. I don't know who that is, guys. If Pat Mahomes is throwing the ball, they're active, and you think they'll be on the field, just fucking play them.
Yeah, agreed. All right, kickers and defense here. So Harrison Butker at 5K. Man, we just talked about the other day. We saw a $4,800 kicker. I was like, yeah, that's pretty expensive. Now we see Harrison Butker at 5K. We know what he's capable of. 50-plus yarders, no problem for him. Randy Bullock, 4,400. I don't know, man. Fucking kickers. What do we do? We keep seeing him end up in the optimal. Do I got to play kickers on this slate?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you gotta have your if the salary works out and you can get to him, I think you need to have a little bit of exposure. But again, like this is one of those slates, man. You gotta have a certain handful of guys. I think Butker or Bullock could be in it. One of the kickers, not both. I think it's more likely that it's Butker that makes the optimal. At some point, Bullock isn't going to be on the field to kick if they're down by 14 points. So that's the only thing I think there.
All right, let's go to defense here. Chiefs defense, 5,800. Hey, we saw $7,000 Eagles defense. I don't think I want to pay 5,800 for the Chiefs defense. We know they could probably return a touchdown, maybe get a couple sacks, but man, you're going to need a lot to pay that 5,800 off. And they're probably going to be 20% owned. You could probably get a lot of leverage just by unchecking them. Is that something you're interested in?
I don't know if I'll uncheck them. I'll have a little bit of exposure here. Especially if Malik Willis plays. If it's Ryan Tannehill, I don't think I'm as interested. But you got a rookie quarterback. It's not coming off a bye week. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for him. I just don't think it's a good situation.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's get into our captain choice here. Let's do it. We're gonna crown their ass.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Ellie, you're going Kelce. No big surprise there. I didn't even have to get a text from you to know that you were going to play. Kelce was going to be your captain and CH was going to be your fade. Spoiler alert. I typically wouldn't be the one to play a Patrick Mahomes, but on a slate like this, man, there's so many different ways this could go. You could get different, and the value on the slate is pretty nice. So plug in Mahomes at captain, plug in Kelce at captain. I think those are the safest bets. Obviously. You got Derrick Henry on the other side of things, who absolutely could go off even if this team's losing. But I think those are my favorite three. I think everybody else's favorite three. I don't think you have to get too crazy by going down to any of these, mid-range guys on this slate. That's just my take on it. Ellie, are you kind of feeling the same thing?
The only thing I would say is I don't mind Juju or MBS. Again, it's Patrick Mahomes, and either one of those guys could have absolute breakout games for no other reason other than Patty was feeling it and they were on target with routes. So, look, anybody from this offense is there. But look, I'm with you. I'm actually going to have a decent amount of Mahomes captain. I don't do quarterbacks often.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good slate for it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to our fade.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
So another CEH fade for you. That just means he's going to score 2 touchdowns. So you guys might want to pile up on him. I'm going Tony. Simply, it's probably not a bold take here. I don't think a lot of people are going to play him, but I'm not going to play him at all. I don't want to waste any lineups. I don't think he's going to see the field much, but I could be wrong, man. This guy could come out and they could use him right away. He can get a rushing touchdown. I don't know, but I'm not going to worry about him too much because there's just so many other guys that are way cheaper that are going to have way more opportunity. All right, let's get into our lineup build here. Ellie, who do you want to build with first? Actually, let's just see that. Let's click the button and see what happens. Kelce captain, Cody Hollister, Pacheco, Malik Willis, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty. I mean, I think that's gonna be pretty popular, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think I think that's where a lot of the Pacheco ownership is coming from. I think you're getting one of those $200 punts, and then you kind of have that 2,800 to 3,000 range. So you throw in Pacheco, but
Yeah.
I'm not high on him, man. I think you can leave everybody, just pull Pacheco and Willis.
Okay. All right. So we got
And then,
11.4K.
Throw in your tight end.
Okay. Where you at? Okonkwo, 11.2K.
Yeah, like this is what I'm
mean,
talking about. I'm on you don't need to do that because you
don't need to
still
do
have too
that.
much salary left
Yeah.
over. But like
Here, let's
this
do
is a
this.
slate.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I
Yeah.
keep talking.
No, this is a slate where I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Juju now.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's keep building in our core and then find out where we're at.
Yeah, 3K left.
3K.
Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, McKinnon. That's perfect.
Just save that shit.
Yeah, I'm saving it for sure. Kelsey at captain, Juju, Okongwo, McKinnon, Derrick Henry, and Patrick Mahomes. That is a 3-3. No, that's a 4-2. Hey, I love it. I love it. All right, now that we got a Kelsey lineup, let's do a Patty Mahomes lineup. We're gonna have to cut this short after only a few builds because I got to get this uploaded. So we're gonna just run through this. Let's do Mahomes. Let's click optimize and see what happens. McKinnon, Pacheco, MVS, Kelsey, and Henry. That's fine. I don't hate it here. Actually, let me save that. So where do we want to go here? Let's put in Kelsey, right?
Yeah, Kelsey,
Henry.
All right, Juju,
love it. Let's get one more. You want to get another pass catcher in here? Do you want to do, I don't know, Sky Moore or something here?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's use that as our value. 2K remaining.
You go Austin Hooper.
You can go Austin.
Noah Gray.
Yeah, there's so many different guys here. I wouldn't go Hassan Haskins necessarily. Gray, Justin Watson. I don't know if he'll be active, but he's always there. Then you got my boy here. So many different options. Sorry, I don't know if you guys could see that, but all right, who's next?
Let's go Derrick Henry.
All right, let's go Henry. Here, let me click optimize and see what that does for us. Same old, man. Hollister, Pacheco are just, optimizers loving them. That's why I think you can really get some leverage here with Okongwo. Where do we go here? Patty, and then four Chiefs.
Yeah, let's go Patty, Kelsey. Let's throw in Clyde since we haven't yet.
Okay.
Then put in your Okonkwo.
Okay. 4,200.
42.
Yeah,
you got
almost Randy Bullock, but you got to
go down
all
from
the way down to McKinnon, right?
Yeah. You got McKinnon. I mean, you can go from Set to McCole Hardman, and then come up off of McKinnon, get a Butker, Chiefs defense. There's just a lot of flexibility here.
Let's do Juju. Let's do our last one. Let's do Juju here. All right. So let's click the button and see what happens here. See, every fucking lineup, dude. Hollister, Pacheco. All right, let's get Patty in here. Let's get D. Henry. Do you want to get any of these wide receivers from Tennessee? Do you want to fit in Westbrook-Akine, Conley? Conley instead of Cody Hollister, maybe.
Yeah, throw in Conley, and then throw in Juju again, man. Damn.
No, I got him at captain.
Oh, that's right. Let's get Kelsey then. Damn,
4K.
we still have a decent
4K. We can get, not that I would want to do this, but Titans defense. That seems kind of stupid. Jeff Swaim, McKinnon, Pacheco, any of these guys, man. There's a lot of options on this slate, especially if Tannehill does play. I mean, that opens up a lot more things, in my opinion, because I think he'll be low owned even if he is announced active. Malik Willis, yes, I know we didn't really build much with him. I do think he's in play. to a certain extent, simply because there's going to be some garbage time opportunity. And look, maybe he runs one in the first half. You know, maybe they get lucky and they get in the red zone and he runs one in. If you can get him to, you know, if he can score 15 fantasy points at 9K, I think that might be enough for you on a slate like this. So Ellie, what else did you learn from us building there? So many damn options, right?
Yeah, man, there's just a lot of flexibility. Be willing to leave salary on the table for once on a Chiefs slate. And, you know, just play guys you think are going to get some run. Don't be hesitate to stick to like a stars and scrubs build.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on final score?
Final score, I'm just going to keep saying 31-13 until it happens. So 31-13 Chiefs. And then low owned guy, bro, I'm going to stick with Noah Gray. Got to go the tight ends.
I want to say like 35, 13 in that range. I kind of like that. But I'm going to take the under on this one. I want to do I'm going to say like 24-14 in this game. Is that? Yeah, that's the under. I think I said the same thing the last game.
Yeah.
I'm going with my boy Okonkwo to score. And if I'm saying that wrong, somebody correct me in the Discord. We'll see you guys later. Throw us a like on the way out. We appreciate it. We'll see you for Monday Night Football.